the developments on the Epstein file saga. I'd like to get a congressional perspective, all of that. And joining me now to discuss this and more, Congressman Mark Alford. He serves on several House committees, including the all-important Appropriations Committee. He is also the chairman of the Republican Study Committee's Messaging Task Force. He represents the 4th Congressional District of Missouri. Congressman Alford, great to see you. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Jody. Good to be with you.
All right. There has been a lot of movement since yesterday. I mean, we had the House vote, and then we had the Senate vote, and now we have the DOJ response. What do you make of all these developments with the Epstein files?
I am so glad this is coming to an end, the information being released. We have pushed for this for the very beginning, full transparency. We made a call for that in July. September 3rd, we voted on a resolution that was attached to a rule. I know that's techno speak in Congress, but basically we voted for the Oversight Committee to get these files and release them. We've been consistent in this, and even President Trump, you remember back this summer, ordered the DOJ and Pam Bondi to release these files. I think what's going to come out of this is going to be a big nothing burger for President Trump. Yes, his name is going to be mentioned, as we've seen in some of these emails, but nothing that's going to tie him to any illicit activity involving Jeffrey Epstein. Here's my focus, though, Jody. You mentioned that I'm on appropriations. We had a meeting today, the Republican appropriation members under the direction of our chairman, Tom Cole. And we are singularly focused now, with all these distractions out of the way, of getting these remaining 9 appropriation bills done. We've got all 12 of them out of committee before the end of the fiscal year. And all we were asking is to have a 7-week extension to get the remaining 9 passed on the House floor. And that's what led to the government shutdown, because the Democrats did not want us to do that. Now our focus is getting that done for the American people. We have only 27 legislative days, though, to get that done until the new deadline of January 30th. We're going to be up against the gun on this, but we're determined to get this done. And I think we have a good chance, for the first time that I've been here in Congress in 3 years, of returning to regular order when it comes to our appropriations process.
Yeah, it's so, I mean, we certainly hope so, Congressman. You know, we have been in away from regular order for so long that regular order itself almost seems like irregular order. But come back to it. We've got to come back to this. Let me switch gears with you a little bit, but somewhat on a similar topic. One of the next big battles, I think, that is going to take place on Capitol Hill is a fight over health care. I mean, the Democrats are pushing for permanent COVID-era Obama subsidies. And, you know, and let's face it, the Senate has said they're going to have that vote. But how do you see all of this playing out? This is going to be a big battle, isn't it?
The Senate will have a vote. I think it will be defeated. There's no promise by Speaker Johnson to bring it up in the House. We're all concerned about it. I think the committees of jurisdiction will take an active role. In fact, I know they will. Speaker Mike Johnson said in our conference meeting, the first time we've been together as a conference in some 6 weeks, that this is going to be a priority, that we are going to work on the committees of jurisdiction, energy and commerce, ways and means, to make sure that we have something for the American people. Will we extend these COVID-era subsidies? I don't know. I don't think so. I think the American people realize that COVID is over, Jody. This was a failed system from the very beginning. Obamacare was never designed to succeed. It was designed by the Democrats, voted singularly in by the Democrats to replace the healthcare system that we had in America with universal healthcare, Medicare for all. We are not content with letting that happen. We do have to find some ways forward, though, maybe tort reform. Maybe insurance reform. I kind of like the idea of the money going to the individuals. And you are smart enough to decide how you want to negotiate your healthcare prices. My wife and I are on a Medishare type program now. We could be on Obamacare with the rest of Congress, but we decided not to do that. We negotiate our own prices. Americans are smart enough to do that if we give them the chance.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think another thing, when you're talking about the American people, certainly smart enough to handle their own decisions with all of this, but they also need to be educated on some of this. The waste, fraud, and abuse in these subsidies is all over the place. And I guess, certainly Republicans are going to deal with some of these issues, won't they?
Yes, we will. I think half the people who are getting these subsidies never even file a claim. Now, just because you have car insurance doesn't mean you're going to necessarily get into a wreck. But when you have that high of a number not filing claims, something is wrong. Subsidies are going directly to the insurance companies, which is a mistake. I think that leads to increased prices for the consumer. Because the insurance companies are certainly making the money. And we also need to make sure that people who are using these services are getting the quality services they need and deserve. We made the reforms in Medicaid under the One Big Beautiful Bill, right? We kicked illegal aliens off. We put in work requirements. We can do the hard job of reforming these systems to save these systems for the American people. But it's going to take some work and it's going to take some time. I don't think we're going to get something done on these subsidies, whether totally outright rejecting them or reforming them in some way, by January 1st.
Well, there's a lot of work to do, as you said. And, also tied up in all of these are taxpayer funding for abortion and so-called gender transition procedures. The American people need to know those type of things. And I'm hopeful that Congress will deal with it as well. By the way, we do have a FRC. We've got a petition where people can come on board and sign. Just text ACA to 67742. That's ACA to 67742. Thank you, Missouri Congressman Mark Alford. Always great to see you and an honor to have you on Washington Watch.